Bill's resume speaks for itself as an athlete and a person. 9 high school letters, an all-conference high school and college athlete, a successful coach, as well as an award-winning teacher. These accomplishments don't happen without hard work and dedication. And sports aren't just about talent. They are a testament to the value of hard work, dedication, and perseverance. As a coach, you stress the importance of work ethic and how it can transform an average player. Bill was one of those athletes. I used to tell my players small quotes like, "He who stops being better stops being good." And I find the harder you work, the luckier you get. I'd also explain that baseball is a game of failure. It's where the above-average high school player walks back to the dugout 7 out of 10 times, not getting on base. But it's how you handle the failure that'll play a big role in how successful you are. Work ethic in sports is more than just showing up for practice. It's a commitment to excellence that involves discipline, responsibility, and integrity. It involves a consistent effort to improve your skills, overcome setbacks, and strive for continuous improvement. Talent might get you noticed, but hard work is what elevates you to the next level. Bill was not just a picture, but a portrait of work ethic. He was not afraid of the weight room, still isn't, and definitely not afraid to put in the extra time. As an example, I always told my players if they wanted to get some extra cuts off the tee, feel free to contact me on the weekends and I would get the equipment out for them. Bill would call every Saturday and Sunday, "Coach, Bill here, can I get a tee and a bucket of balls?" It got to the point where after practice on Fridays, for 2 years, I would say, "Bill, the keys to the equipment room will be in my mailbox, just come and get them." His extra time certainly paid off. His high school stats included 2 team conference champions, 2 team state appearances, 2 individual all-conference awards, 2 all-Northwest awards, and his senior year being named to All-State. He still holds the team record over a 2-year period with 80 RBIs in 65 games on 79 hits and ended with a career batting average of .429. Now, when I spoke about Bubba, I talked about how he got his nickname, and Tom talked about his teams with all the nicknames. Well, Bill's 1989 team, almost every player had a nickname as well. We had Fleets and Wisey, Jocko and Chubby, Knutson and Quimmer. And as Bill walks up here, just look at his face, and you'll see how he got his. In fact, just look at his picture in the program. Smiley, welcome to the hall.
I've been trying to keep this suit clean the whole time, so I hope it's clean now, because my wife has been telling me don't get dirty here. Coach Wall, thank you so much for that introduction. This spring, we got a chance to go down to Oshkosh and watch Coach Wall coach the All-Star team. And he was in an Richmond Tiger uniform. And also, before that game, he came down. I've been coaching the high school team with Coach Kredovitz. And he came and he helped. He sat a couple innings on a bucket with us and coached with us. Coach Wall, he bleeds orange. He is a Tiger. So I was so glad to see him in Tiger uniform. Coach Wall, I love you. And Bev, I love you too. And I want to thank all the people who put this on. This has just been an amazing day. I know I talked to people, so many friends the last couple weeks. I've got emails, texts, and they said just enjoy every minute of it. And it has just been even more than I expected. I also want to congratulate the class of 2025. When I was a freshman, this isn't in my notes, and I'm going to be careful here, but when I was a freshman basketball player, Paulie Simpson asked me if I wanted to come play practice with the girls one day. And I thought, you know what, I'll give it a try. So I went out there, and you're right, ladies. I have never been worked that hard, and Al Washke worked as hard, so did Bernie Lipson. But when I got done, and I was a freshman, she said, you know what, Knutson? you might be a decent player someday. And I thought I was pretty good already. And she said, you got a chance, you might be good. And after that, I built a relationship with Polly Simpson where we would talk periodically. I mean, just an amazing woman, understood basketball, and I just adored her. And I know she's here with us today. And it's just amazing. And then the other Hall of Famers, I can go on and on, but I'm not going to go on with stories about that. I was going to put my speech on a device, but as the coaches know, I can't find my phone, and it might not be charged. So I was going to send it to Dan Kretovics, whose phone I use when we take trips, for coaching, but I thought maybe he wouldn't have his phone on him, so I'm going paper here. But anyway, here we go. As I stand here today, I hope to be remembered as an athlete who was a fierce competitor, who gave his best in the clutch and loved his teammates. I want to be one of those who made the people around me better by modeling work ethic, faith, and pushing my teammates to grow. I'm going to talk a little bit about my high school years, because when I went into the Hall of Fame, I called my daughters, and I said, I'm going into the High School Hall of Fame. And I'm not going to say which daughter, but one said, you, Dad? So I'm going to share a couple things here because they just never quite came up. And all of my awards just stayed in the basement. They're down there in boxes. When I was in high school, after my freshman year, I was kind of a scrawny kid. And I remember going up to the weight room. And I went up there to bench press, and I couldn't bench press the bar. And there were a couple seniors up there that were giving me a hard time, laughing at me. So I made a commitment to become strong, and I worked hard. When I left in Richmond High School, I was the strongest kid, benching 300, squatting 400, and deadlifting 500. But what I'm most proud of is the kids that did it with me, one of which is Joel Refsnyder, who was one of my lifting partners, and we got strong together. Also, a little bit about football. My senior year in football, we didn't win a game. And what that taught me was to celebrate the small victories and the positive things that you can find when you're not winning. We still stayed positive, we showed up every day, and I still value that experience and the way the coaches worked with us. In basketball, my senior year, my sophomore and junior years, we came within one game of going to state. In my senior year, I was the second leading scorer in the conference, missing the scoring championship by less than a point. In track, I didn't go out for track my sophomore and junior years, which was a big mistake. I wish I would have. But my senior year, Stan Barr talked me into coming out for track. And he said, you're strong, you're going to be a shot putter. I was not a good shot putter. I was terrible. But then one day he said, you can jump. Made me into a high jumper. Ended up finishing second in the conference in the high jump. But probably my baseball, our 1989 Tigers team that finished 25-2 and lost in the state tournament is probably my greatest joy. Some of my college years. In 1990, I played in the Junior College World Series. Unbelievable. I remember facing Alex Fernandez, who went on to play for the White Sox, and I knew I had made it big when he threw that first pitch, and I don't even think I saw it. I just stepped out, I looked at all the people in the stands and got back in and tried to hit. And I went to UW River Falls after that year, played 3 years there, was all-conference MVP and captain 2 years. But now, to be honest, I'm not always comfortable sharing this, but I want to make sure that when my daughters talk about me, they don't say, oh, him. I want them to be able to say a couple good things about me anyway. And as far as the weight room, I still like to get in the weight room with Gibby every once in a while, and that's how we compete. And I appreciate him, and I appreciate those guys. All right, some stories that shaped me here. When I was in high school playing baseball, we used to have the pitcher would come out and pitch when we were hitting in practice. So I'd always hit off Jock Charlotte. Jocko threw mid-80s, and he threw hard. Well, one day I'm in there batting, Chubby's catching, his brother. Jocko blows one by me, and it just went right by me. And here comes Bev Ball walking down the first base line out in the street. And Chubby says, what happened there? I said, I was distracted. Mrs. Ball was coming down the road. And he said, what is she wearing? I said, she's wearing a white tank top, jean shorts, and she's got her hair up in a ponytail. Oh, okay, you did notice her, he said. Okay, next pitch. Jocko throws it by me again. Chubby said, well, what, did she distract you again? And I said, no, I just missed that one. I mean, he blew it by me. So next pitch after that, Jocko, who I've been facing since he was at Star Prairie and we were in Little League, throws me, I see him winding up, and I see him gripping the ball. And I'm like, oh, he's gonna give me a curveball, I know he is. So he's gripping it, changes his arm slot, I see the spin, it's a curveball. Hit the ball over the left center field fence. Step out of the box, I say, I'm done. Jocko says, get back in there. Well, I was not going back in there because you know what a guy from Star Prairie is going to do if he hit a home run on him? He was going to beat me. I mean, he was going to get it. So I said, I'm done, walked away. Jocko's on the mound yelling, get in there, Knutson, get back in there. I said, nope, I'm done. And he would have beaten me. I know he would. It's hard getting older when you got cheaters. All right. Okay, another story that shaped me. My junior year, I was playing in Grantsburg. It was my first varsity start, because we were very good as a varsity baseball team. I struck out 3 times. I remember walking back. We had to walk a long way to our bus. I don't know if you remember this, Coach Ball. My head was down, and I said, what happened? Coach Ball smiling. He said, don't worry, we got this. I said, no, stop right now, Coach Ball. Tell me what I did wrong. He said, now? I said, yes, right now. All right, Billy, he said, you got to get this wrist cocked right here so you can get around on that inside pitch. You're still going to be able to drive the pitch the other way. Are you sure, Coach? Yep, it was, so it helped. So we fixed that. Now, 2 years later, we're playing at that same park to go to state. We're down 1 run, and it's the sectional finals to go to state. Coincidentally, pitcher from St. Clair Falls, there's a runner on base, late in the game, throws me a curveball. Hit the longest home run of my career. Cleared the fence by about 60 feet, went over a road, went into a cemetery. I remember running around with my fist in the air and just thinking about that moment. But if Coach Ball wouldn't have believed in me, it would have never happened. And I think, as he mentioned earlier, that persistency shows. For basketball, I played for Bernie Lixit and Coach Al Washke. Basketball was my favorite sport, I'll be honest. I wanted to play college basketball, but I had a better chance of playing football and baseball. We would come out into the gymnasium, and we would wait to come out, and the crowd would absolutely erupt. The pep band was playing, the seats were full, people sat in the same spots. We won 2 conference championships. We missed going to state 2 times by that final game, but I just loved it. It was such a loud place to play, and I absolutely loved it. So, and then coaching varsity baseball right now has been incredible too. All right, I got to get back on time. Here we go. A couple gratitudes that I want to share. I first want to share gratitude to all the teachers and coaches who have poured into me. I know I want to be known as a teacher who's been here over 25 years. I hope someday that I can be remembered and known as the Kumalas are and the Bars and people like that. So I'm so thankful for them. And I also want to share some gratitude for some other people. First, I want to say thank you to my stepfather, Tom, who is sitting out there. Tom, 40 years ago, you inherited 3 kids with my mom, and you've loved us, you've cared for us, and you showed us how to love our mom. So I love you, Tom. Thank you for that. For my sisters, I'm just so thankful for our Sunday night conversations and how close we have gotten. I love you both. Thanks you for that support. To my daughters, I enjoy seeing you every day and how you grow in your faith and how you grow in sports. To my friends who are here and the rest of the family, and to Gary and Jean who have accepted me, I love you guys too. I also want to take some time, and I want to say, most of all, I want to thank my wife, Jamie. Because without you, you are truly the best mom that there could be. You support me in so many ways and support us. You're just the rock of our family. And then finally, above all, I want to take a moment to thank God. Thank God for this honor. Thank God for every gift, every teammate, every memory. And I'd like to give all the glory to God. Thank you.